Mike Zimmer has been harping home. I feel like every time they ask him about Mazi Smith, and it was noticeable that he did it in this game, was, the ability to disengage, right? And disengage with some urgency, not disengage late in the play. Like, he'll get popped. Mazi getting popped when he gets off the line of scrimmage when he's supposed to, not an issue. We know he's powerful like that, right? He can do that. Mazi getting popped and then finding the ball and then getting rid of his guy, that had been an issue. And doing that consistently had been an issue. From the jump, Mazi did that, and he was more consistent with it in this game. And again, don't look now, but he's starting to do the things you brought him here to do. Mazi was never here to be a pass rush guy. I thought there could have been some ability there, but he was truly here, obviously, to be a run guy. And when you go look at him amongst his peers, I looked up, I think it was Benton. I just was curious. And then I said, well, damn it, let me just go look at the rest of the true defensive tackles that was drafted in that top 3. He's got the same amount of stops as Keanu Benton. He's got more stops and tackles than Brian Breesy. Like, a lot more tackles than Brian Breesy. He's got the only player that has more stops than him in that top 3 rounds from the defensive tackles is Gervon Dexter, who went to, I think, Chicago. Big fella. Was that Florida? I think it was a Florida kid. So don't look now. But Mazi's starting to stack some good stuff together. And Mazi Smith might be one of the most important evaluations the rest of the way. Right? Because again, for me at least, this is about evaluation. I don't see this team as a playoff team or even pushing for it. Now, that obviously that can change. But Dallas can't afford to completely miss on Mazi. Would you like him to fall in that same category as the other first-round picks? Yes. I don't see that just yet, but they can't afford it to be just a complete bust. They need to see Mazi close out this season to feel good and comfortable going into season 3, where, look, it takes some of these defensive tackles some time. Not every defensive tackle. Keanu Benton popped right away, right? Like, some other defensive linemen pop right away. But for Mazi, clearly, mentally, it's a thing for Mazi. His confidence, if it's not there, is clear as day. You see it. So I don't know that part of him. I haven't heard much about it this year. Last year, we heard a whole bunch about his mental just not being right. That's the unpredictable part of it. But all I can go off of is what we're seeing on Sunday, and he's starting to put together a little bit. So you hope Mazi falls in that, hey, it takes 2, 3, 4 years for some of these defensive tackles to kind of be difference makers, be impact players. For Dallas, usually they don't have that type of time. And that's why I was harping for all the way back in February, March. Cool, let's let Mazi develop, but make sure you get some dudes in here that can make a difference as he's developing. And just imagine if you had a couple difference maker DTs as Mazi is developing and not having all that pressure on him, maybe it's sped up a bit. But here we are. That's water under the bridge. All you can hope for now is that you don't completely miss on Mazi Smith. We're not there yet, right? But we're starting to see some improvement. And that's all you can ask, man. That's all you can ask for at this point, at least.